If you're a diehard cannabis user such as myself, you may be feeling stuck or limited with the options that you may have to be able to move or travel from country to country with your medicine. After surviving cancer for the fourth time and living with chronic pain since my youth, I've learned that health isn't something that you wait for, it's something you pursue. When I set out and sold everything 2 years ago to travel, I quickly realized the question wasn't so much, where do I go? The question became, where do I travel to where my medicine or cannabis is allowed? Then, how or where do I get my medicine to travel? Or how do I get it once I'm there? Hi, I'm Teresa, and welcome to my channel. I typed countries that had allowances for medicinal cannabis, and what I ended up finding was out of 195 countries, only 50 to 60 have an open practice for medical cannabis. That led me to the next question. What are the requirements in each of the countries that I'm going to? This one thought alone can get in the way of you moving or traveling because you will lose the access to your medical cannabis, to your medicine. It's not unique to find out that every country has its own list of prohibited items or prohibited products, such as ADHD stimulants in Japan or decongestants in New Zealand or Thailand. Most of us stay on prescriptions or pharmaceuticals because that's what we're used to. We trust our doctors, and it's what's acceptable. Now let's look at that reality of what's become acceptable. According to a Penn State study in 2019, the data shows that newborn women in North America are now projected to take prescription medications for 60% of their life. That's some 47 years during our lifetime that we will be on at least one pill or another. In the US and Canada, between 55% and 72% of adult women take at least one prescription medication. But here's the kicker. In our generation, over 40% of women 65 years and older will experience polypharmacy. Polypharmacy is where someone is taking at least 5 medications or more per month. We end up taking one pill for the problem and then another pill for the side effects of the first pill. I know this cycle all too well. I've been on medication since my youth, and all of them never really providing any complete relief. I've lived through the opioid crisis, and with the overprescriptions, that landed me in a 12-step program for over 10 years. I choose cannabis as a functional tool because it actually provides pain relief without leaving me like a zombie. I don't want to be managing my decline. I want to be managing my thrive. I want to grow into me. Now, having a YouTube channel, I already have a mobile office, and you know that I live on a target budget. So while I'm in the USA and Canada, I tend to stay with family and friends. Hence the search for a van. I need to keep the costs of living around here just as low as they are in Southeast Asia. Right now, I am in sunny Spring Hill, Florida, visiting my brother and his family. Who could ask for a more beautiful mobile office? Now, let's just say I've tested the waters here in Florida. I've dipped my toe in. Last year, I was a little unprepared, and I thought I was much more prepared this year, but no, I was not. To get cannabis in the state of Florida, you must be a Florida resident or a seasonal resident. Let's back up just a bit. When I was going through customs in Winnipeg, Canada, and coming through to the United States, I decided to ask the customs officers a few questions with regards to carrying cannabis. And yes, I'm sure you're already aware that it is 100% illegal to bring any cannabis across the border from Canada to the United States. But in that, I did have a question. If I were to carry my utensils, say my pipe, I don't like smoking with paper, and we'll talk about that in another video. But if I were to take my utensils with me or my tools of the trade, would that slow me down, or is there a possibility of getting me stopped in customs? The response was, it's better for me to leave everything on this side of the border, because even if it's not fully illegal and I won't get arrested, there still may be a lot of paperwork to do if I enter into a gray area where they might have to take those away. And that, in turn, would have me miss my flight. So something to keep in mind while you're traveling. Now, as I said, the only way to get a medicinal or medical marijuana card in the state of Florida is by being a resident or a seasonal resident. To prove yourself to be a resident, you just show your ID and you're already a Florida resident, so you have ID under Florida. If not, as myself as a Canadian, I would have to prove that I'm a seasonal resident. That being that I spend more than 31 days here in the state of Florida. As well, I would need to show a lease or a rental agreement, a mortgage, even a second piece of identification, such as a utility bill, showing that I do spend a seasonal length of time here in the state. Now, let's say you've satisfied the seasonal portion of living in Florida. You're going to have to book yourself an in-person meeting with a cannabis doctor, and they will go over and evaluate your conditions from there. There's also a $75 application fee to the state, and if everything goes well, you would be issued your card by the Florida Office of Medical Marijuana Use. And with that card, it would cover you for conditions like chronic pain, cancer, HIV or AIDS, epilepsy, glaucoma, post-traumatic stress disorder, Crohn's disease, or Parkinson's disease. Also, once the doctor approves your request, you will be assigned a patient ID number, and you can go obtain your medicinal cannabis right away without receiving your card. Your card will come in about 7 to 21 days. Now, let's say you don't get your medical card. Well, guess what? In Florida, they have quite a few hemp-based products that you can legally purchase within the state. You can get them at most vape or smoke shops. Now, of course, you need to be over the age of 21, and these products have a baseline of a dry weight of THC of 0.3%, which is raw hemp flower, THCA. That's the active component before it's decarboxylated. So when you do light it, the THCA is going to turn into delta-9 THC. There's alternative cannabinoids such as delta-8 THC, delta-10 THC, HHC, or THCO. You can get those in vape cartridges or distillates, as well as edibles. And then there is the whole variety of CBD cannabinoid products. Now, if you'd like me to do a video on all these alternative hemp products, please leave a comment below. And better yet, if you've used any of these alternative products, I'd love to hear how they work for you. I'm going to be making my way back to Canada and across the prairie provinces before confirming my travels for the remainder of the year. I am currently scouting for a van to be my base of operations. You know, a bit of a mobile office where I can film, work, and hopefully consult about cannabis. And if plans hold firm, it doesn't end there. I am about to head back to Thailand and Southeast Asia. Since I was there last, things have shifted a little bit in the laws. They've gone to a medicinal framework. And yet, when I was there last year, it didn't change much at all when it came to obtaining the cannabis once you were there. Whether I'm in Canada, the US, or Southeast Asia, my office is wherever I am. And my mission is to bring clarity and education, because this is my medicine. And I want to know what's good for me. So therefore, let me give you what I learn, and hopefully it will be good for you. If you're over 50 or 60 and you're curious about this plant, or you just want to know about how to build a life on the road, hit the subscribe button. And if you're wondering how to even start these conversations with your family doctor, don't forget to download my free senior's guide to cannabis conversations in the link below. I thank you all for joining me today. And remember, until next time, take care and talk soon. Bye for now.